Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about an upcoming snowstorm for the northeastern United States this weekend. We've talked about this storm multiple times over the previous week, but now we actually have a snowfall forecast to present to you guys. Now, before I get started with this video, though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. And I'd also highly recommend that you check out our very awesome store in the description and in the pinned comment down below, and then also our awesome Patreon page, where we actually just made a post about another southern slider that is possible. It could possibly bring snowfall to Texas again, the Gulf states, and even the southeastern states, so you can check that out on our Patreon page, again in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Anyways, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, how much snowfall do you think is the maximum anyone will see from the storm we're talking about in today's video? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and first things first, we're taking a look at that blizzard we talked about yesterday. It is well underway up there for the upper Midwest, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois. And then you can see it's basically going to spread out and just become pretty much a very widespread area of snow showers. But we see a low pressure system developing there in Virginia and North Carolina. That's going to be around tonight at about 10 p.m. Let's take a look at our current warnings, watches, and advisories. In those oranges, we have those blizzard warnings set up for our first storm, but the one we're talking about in today's video for the Northeast, we have winter weather advisories there in those kind of purplish shades, so for New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, and then winter storm watches there for New York, Vermont, and Maine in those blue shades. Anyway, what we're going to do here is we're going to move on and start taking a look at our simulated radar and just walk you through this storm. We're expecting heavy snowfall and up to 15 inches of snow actually, or possibly more. So we will be talking about all of that in just a moment. So this is already by this evening or afternoon, actually more like afternoon actually. This is probably about 3 p.m. today on Friday, January 15th. So that's why I had to make this video today, because I have basically no more time to make this video. I had to do it today. We see some light snowfall to moderate snowfall starting out there for Ohio, West Virginia. It's going to be a really messy storm on the southern end of this. I expect rain basically to follow it. So it's going to be very challenging to predict how much snowfall you will actually see on the ground. Now let's just go ahead and take this to our next frame, and this is going to be approximately about 4 a.m. there on Saturday, January 16th. As you can see, we have moderate to heavy snowfall going on for New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire. You see that yellow shade there, kind of for the Berkshires, and then bordering over into New York and then even Vermont there. That's kind of where this model is trying to pick up on some sleet. A few days ago, they did think there would be a lot more of that wintry mess going on. Now it looks like a whole lot more snow compared to the mixing, so that's kind of where we're at with the storm now. It looks like a lot more of a pure snowstorm. As we move towards about 1 p.m. there on Saturday, January 16th, look at that moderate to heavy snowfall, mostly heavy actually there for New York, Vermont, especially New Hampshire into Maine. We're definitely seeing a ton of snowfall here. 994 millibar low pressure system on shore of New England there. Very close to that rain snow line. Going to be a very interesting storm here as it tracks inland there. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at about 1 a.m. on Sunday, January 7th, where we're going to see this storm continue to move through and continue to bring heavy snowfall. Now here we are taking a look at about 1 a.m. on Sunday, like I said, and as you can see, we're still seeing plenty of snowfall going on for upstate New York. That's actually mostly lake effect snow there for portions of northern New York, the Tug Hill, the Adirondacks as well, getting in on some of that. We see Vermont, New Hampshire getting some snowfall still from our storm, and then especially northern Maine and eastern Maine there. We do see some wintry mess going on up there for Canada and the Maine border there. So we're going to need to watch that closely. As you can see, by the time we reach about the PM hours there of Sunday, it's basically all said and done for the most part by that point. Now let's go ahead and move on to a more high resolution model. This is the HRDPS model, and you might not know what that is. Basically, if you know what the RGEM model is, which is the high resolution Canadian model, this is the even higher resolution version of that. So we're getting very high resolution model here, practically what it's going to look like on radar according to this model. Now, as we can see, we're at about, I would say, 7 p.m. here on Friday. You can see some moderate to heavy snowfall going on for Ohio, West Virginia by this point. Let's take this to about 5 a.m. here on Saturday, January 16th. As you can see, we do have that moderate to heavy snowfall going on for New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire, and even Massachusetts down through into portions of Connecticut there. So very similar to that European model, just higher resolution really, and we can see the Catskills actually getting in on some of that more heavier snowfall as well. So this is definitely a very elevation-based snowstorm. I mentioned that a few days ago. That's definitely going to be the case. You will especially see it on our snowfall forecast at the end of the video. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on further with this one in just a moment and take a look at that very heavy snowfall that's expected. Finally, we're going to get into the modeled snowfall guidance in just a moment, and then our official snowfall forecast as well, all coming up in just a moment. Now, this is by 11 a.m. or so there on Saturday, January 16th, and take a look at how heavy that snowfall is this model is expecting. We see moderate to heavy there for New York, from the Catskills northward into the Adirondacks, even areas in the Finger Lakes regions there, and also along the lakes, obviously. And then we can see for Vermont down through into the Berkshires, so that's especially the Green Mountains down through the Berkshires, which is kind of just one mountain range. We just have different names for it, depending on the state. So very heavy snowfall there. This model is predicting, I mean, just some of the heaviest snowfall you can really see according to this model. So very interesting there. And then we have some of those hillier western regions there of New Hampshire bordering on mountainous regions. Beautiful, beautiful area, by the way. We see moderate to heavy snowfall for there as well, down through those more central hilly regions of Massachusetts, with rain kind of in the valleys in between the Berkshires and that hillier regions near Concord. So in between there, we see more rain extending northward towards the Vermont and New Hampshire border. Basically, if you take that down through Massachusetts, that's where that river valley is, in the middle of Massachusetts. We can see even up through the White Mountains of New Hampshire as well. We're seeing some more moderate to heavy snowfall as well, and that does extend in through Maine. As we take this to about 4 p.m., we can see that really a lot of those areas down there in southern New Hampshire, even some of those areas for Massachusetts, have switched over to rain for the most part, but the White Mountains eastward into Maine and northward towards Berlin as well, we see moderate to heavy snowfall, mostly heavy actually at this point in those more reddish shaded blues. It's kind of confusing to explain, I guess more of like a magenta there. That's where we're seeing that very heavy snowfall. But this model is picking up on that sleet and freezing rain trying to mix in there for those main regions. So we're going to be watching for that as well. And then by the time we reach maybe about, I'd say 11 p.m. there on Saturday, so towards the very tail end of that day, we do see that snowfall for the most part coming to an end as our low pressure system is located in Maine. Mostly just snow showers around. We do see some of those lake effect snowfall showers as well for portions of New York, Pennsylvania. So pretty much all over the place after this storm is moved out. All right. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to move on and take a look at the snowfall guidance according to the European model, the HRDPS model, which is the one we just took a look at, the NAM 3KM model, and then even our HRRR model. And then we're going to get into our official snowfall guidance at the very end of this video. So all of those things are coming up in just a moment. All right, now here we are taking a look at the European model. This is our lowest resolution model we're going to be taking a look at today. If you're anywhere in the grays, you're expecting a dusting, if anything. In the blues, we're taking a look at about 2 to 6 inches. In the purples, approximately 6 to 10 inches of snow. And then in those pinks, we're expecting about 10 to 20 inches of snow. So you can see we are expecting 10 inches plus generally for the Adirondacks, the Green Mountains, the White Mountains, and then the hillier regions there of western New Hampshire and even northern Maine as well. And even the Berkshires potentially, though we do expect some rain to mix in at the end. So it's going to be very complicated to really predict exactly how much we will end up with. Here's that HRDPS model, much higher resolution here. And we can see that the Catskills, the Adirondacks expecting about 10 inches plus as well here. Much less lake effect snowfall according to this model. I don't think that'll be the case. The Berkshires up through the Green Mountains, we are expecting 6 to 10. Or sorry, 10 to 20, but even 20 inches plus there in some of those blue, I guess, pastel colors that start to really scatter in towards the southern regions of Vermont there, as you can see. The White Mountains in through Maine, we are expecting 10 inches plus as well for those regions. Let's go ahead and move on to our NAM 3KM model. And this model is very well known for overdoing things. So you can see this model just takes it to the next level, kind of. You want to take that with a grain of salt. This model is known for overdoing precipitation in that same fashion. So I'm not really buying this. I think the other models are probably a lot more accurate with the amounts there. Pay more attention to the locations here. We see the Adirondacks, Green Mountains, White Mountains, and then the hillier surrounding regions also getting in on some of that as well. That's been the trend with all of these models. They're in really good agreement. And then our HRRR model, which is the highest resolution model we're going to be taking a look at here. And this model basically says 6 to 10 for the Green Mountains, the White Mountains, also the Berkshires, even down through Connecticut. That's the interesting thing here. And then the Adirondacks and the Catskills. So all of these models agree. Basically, the mountain ranges get a ton of snow, surrounding regions get a little bit, and then even closer to the coast, you get practically nothing. All right, here's my official snowfall forecast. If you're in this white region, I'm expecting a dusting to 3 inches of snow, which is most of our kind of screen here, basically. If you're in this blue region, I'm expecting 3 to 6 inches of snow to fall and accumulate for your region. If you're in this darker blue region, I'm expecting 6 to 10 inches of snow. So we can see around the lakes, the Adirondacks, the Catskills, the Green Mountains, the White Mountains, and then the hillier surrounding regions, just like most of our models were calling for. If you're in these regions, you're expecting 10 to 15 inches of snow in these magenta regions. So again, the Adirondacks, the Catskills, the Green Mountains, and then the White Mountains in through the hillier regions of Maine there. And then even 15 to 20 inches of snow here for nearby the lakes. Portions of the Adirondacks, very high elevation regions there in the Green Mountains. And that's basically the bullseyes for this storm, I think. So anyway, that's my official snowfall forecast. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me get right into the comment of the day. I asked you guys for yesterday's video, which was about the blizzard for the upper Midwest. How much do you think the maximum snowfall we will see with that system is? And Weather Today said, I think up to 14 inches max. And I agree, that's around the maximum, about 1 foot. Anyway, for today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Sebastian Tao, John Benbenick, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Alan Belemo, Adam S., Larry LePan, Donna Carnes, Cameron Marshall, and Aidan Mattis, alongside our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Alan Sherry, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Coalessa, Michael Buell, Terry Curtis, Cat Bite, Charles Stinnett, Kellen Manhart, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Alicia Davis, Mark J., and Luke Vallego. If you would like to be on this patron end screen, you can do so by joining our very exciting Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.